right, thanks, Michael. All right, so the SMI is one of our oldest and most favorite, I'm sure, everyone's most favorite initiative in SNIA. SMI has been around since 2007. It was when it was formed. It had actually been around before that as a forum, we actually had a really busy year. Had a lot of stuff going on. Our mission is really fostering creation of management solutions based not only on SNIA standards, but based on industry standards and redfish, swordfish, NVMe, all sorts of industry standards, anything that can, and promoting, developing and promoting storage management solutions that can be adopted industry-wide. So to that end, we had a lot of things going on. Obviously, promoting and focusing on promoting swordfish, but partnering with and promoting the work that's going on there around NVMe over fabrics, extensions of redfish and swordfish, and partnering with a lot of our partner organizations, NVMe, DMTF, OFA promoting redfish, swordfish for NVMe and for storage fabric management, and also the work that's going on in OFA around that open fabrics management framework. And they are working on getting a fish name, which I am really looking forward to because I cannot handle saying the Open Fabrics Management Framework anymore. SMI will continue to promote the work of all of that whole ecosystem to cover server storage and fabrics management. To that end, we promoted that work through management pavilions. So you can see some of our environments here, both at FMS and as well as at Supercompute, working with multiple ecosystems there, and bringing in CMSI, who you've already heard from, as well as GSI, and as well as 9 external alliance partners at Supercompute. So lots and lots of alliance partners and working on extending our management ecosystem to Ethernet Alliance, Open Fabrics, CXL, PCI SIG, DMTF, UCIe, not just having a presence there, but also doing technical demos that covered a large number of those technologies. Elsewhere, we also have multiple other programs, which I'll talk a little bit more about, but we not only officially closed the SNIA Tech Center this year and our programs within that, but we opened the new SNIA Innovations Lab this year. The SNIA Innovations Lab is officially a colo facility, but the Storage Management Initiative owns and wholly operates that colo facility, which hosts the SM Lab, which is the Storage Management Lab, one of our programs, but also hosts within that the redfish interoperability and the CMSI Hackathon Lab, which I think Bill talked about a little bit about within the CMSI presentation earlier. In addition to that, we also have our CTP program. We officially closed out the SMIS program, put that to bed completely, and are very forward-looking. We released both the Swordfish CTP version 1.2.3 and 1.2.4. If you were here earlier and heard the SSM Twig presentation where we talked about releasing 1.2.4 and 1.2.4a, this is the partner program. This is the conformance test program supporting 1.2.3, which came out last year, as well as the 1.2.4. And in addition, one of the other things that SMI did this year was we brought back the return of the hands-on lab. So for those of you who have been around SNIA for a very long time, you remember the hands-on labs that we used to do at SNWs. We intended to have that actually start back up again, doing hands-on labs at SDC. Unfortunately, my house flooded, so we did not do that, but we put on a virtual hands-on lab. We had an amazing response to that. We actually have folks on a waiting list for us to do additional hands-on labs. So you will see that come out here very shortly, probably in the next couple of weeks. We will have an email going out again with notification of the next lab here in February. But we will be doing additional hands-on labs, getting people working with the reference implementation that I talked about in the previous twig content, leveraging those over, getting folks much more experience working both with the swordfish reference implementation, as well as starting to get them introduced into our lab environments, and as well as we will be introducing folks into our performance tests in future labs. Thank you. And our priorities for this year should be, feeding into those. Again, continuing to education everyone on the purpose and the value of storage management, the basics there, as well as leveraging those lab environments I was just talking about into developing a client-focused interop program. This ecosystem we're developing and we're putting together is not really exclusively for the vendors. The member, it has a lot of value for the members, but what we're trying to do is develop an environment that we can provide that focus and expose that up to clients. Obviously, we do a lot here to support the twigs and other twig manageability activities. And then, obviously a strong focus as well on helping to accelerate swordfish development and adoption. So those interoperability labs, driving performance, driving education and marketing activities are key priorities for us. The other pieces are really helping to develop a seamless transition from other storage management standards to swordfish. And again, key priority is continuing to partner with those other organizations to expand storage management standards. Next slide. Just a note here, the Storage Management Initiative has 3 participation options. We have our primary membership within the SMI, and then we have 2 kind of pay-to-play programs. We have our lab and CTP programs. So the lab I've already talked a little bit about. That's hosted within the Innovations Lab as one of the 3 labs hosted there. And then we have the Swordfish CTP program, which you can optionally participate in separately. For those companies who have joined the SM Lab this year, we have a free membership and full access to the Swordfish CTP program as a benefit of membership. In addition to that, within the SMI, we have multiple programs within our operations, covering everything from marketing, performance, and our interoperability lab environment enablement. That's basically developing and promoting, supporting all of our lab programs. The conformance development is basically developing and supporting and enhancing our performance test program environment. And then marketing is obviously, developing marketing and education and test programs. Next slide. Our governing, look at our governing program, governing board. I think about half of the folks are on the call today. If you can have half of 5, do that math, figure out which half a person is on the phone. You have a lot of folks on here have been very committed and have been engaged in this program for a very long time. As noted here on the, as I already just noted, We have combined the lab as a benefit this year as we are ramping up the swordfish conformance test program. It is a free benefit for folks who have joined the lab to get full access to the conformance test program this year. Next. Again, SMI, one of the things we're really trying to target is really promoting and accelerating the adoption of industry standard storage management. So it really is key for us to highlight and accelerate the value of that vendor neutral conformance and highlight the value that companies have gotten out of that and customers as well over the years, highlighting the value from the SNI program over the years and SNIS. We have a lot of data to highlight from that over the years, and we'll be using this year as we switch to full-on promotion of highlighting and trying to accelerate the adoption of the swordfish, both swordfish specification and implementations, as well as ramping the swordfish conformance test program as well. So those are some of our focuses for this year. We'd love to have some of the folks, come in and join our core group of folks driving SMI. Please come and join us.